Welcome back. Welcome in to the Lions Share podcast. The Lions go west and find themselves 2-1 after a little road trip, getting a 20-13 victory over the Arizona Cardinals, sealed off by a Jared Goff bootleg run for the first down. You guessed it, Jared Goff putting on the wheels there for a first down, seals the victory. Overall, I guess I'll say this, guys. I say overall, I was pretty happy with all things considered. Up and down game, but they held the lead for the majority of the game. Offense showed signs of light and kind of looked like offense of old. I saw flashes of what I remember from seeing last year, so I was happy about that. Defense looked new and improved over last year. Still some things to improve on, but I wanted to say there's a lot of key guys out. Anzalone not in this one. Derek Barnes leaves early. A lot of injuries on both sides of the ball. I think for the defense today, I was really proud of what they did, holding them to just 13 points, and they bent, but they didn't break. What did you guys take from the game against the Cardinals?
I think they were trying to lull us to sleep there in the second half. I'm just now waking back up after that. It started out really hot, but then the offense just kind of lost its steam again, and you kind of wonder where did it go. And that's my biggest takeaway from today is the defense still looks stout, but offense, where do you disappear to?
Yeah, Andrew took the words right out of my mouth. It's a tale of two teams on offense, first half, second half. Defense played great, contained Kyler. Kyler looked frustrated, just off. Not the Cardinals team we've seen the first couple weeks of the season, but offense is just, I don't know what it is. It's like as soon as we get a lead, Ben Johnson is just like, okay, I'm going to downshift into a super predictable offense and just get everyone out of rhythm. My take is they got to put a whole game together, and it's not just Ben Johnson. Jared Goff shoulders some of that too. I love a little vanilla Vic at the end there, but missing some guys downfield, holding on to the ball a little too long. Jared just doesn't look like Jared from last year, and we need Jared from last year if we want to make a deep run like we all expect.
Hey, shout out to Jared, though, for an entire first half not throwing one incompletion. I think he went 14 straight without a incompletion, and then his second incompletion of the day was a pick. So that was a downgrade there.
What were his yards per throw, though? You know what I mean? Like, it's like Ben Johnson is just calling it to, like, it's just so interesting. It just doesn't look fast. If I don't know how else to say it. It just doesn't look smooth. Again, the one he had an open JMO. I texted you guys right away because JMO was open and he just waited too long and they hit it out of bounds. I just like why not throw that a second earlier and it's there. I saw the 12 for 12. That's great. He's protecting the football, or he was for a minute, but yeah, yards per pass could not have been. I mean, 198 yards total today from Jared.
That's a typical stat line.
Yeah, what was his complete stat line? Do you have it there?
18 for 23, 198 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick.
Okay, should have been 2 picks.
It should have been 2 picks. He got absolutely saved. Yes. It absolutely should have been a pick six. Why are you trying to throw that ball? No chance, dude. Why? I think he thought if he thought the play was dead, he would have just thrown the ball down. Like that's what people do.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the way as soon as he was on the ground, he was looking at the official like ready. It looked like he knew the whistle blew. By the way, Chris Myers and Mark Schlereth, not our favorite crew, but Chris Myers kept incessantly saying that we didn't hear a whistle. You can hear the whistle in the replay. Not that I do think there was probably a half a second on the clock before the 2-minute warning. Was it early? Yes, but you do hear the whistle. They're immediately blowing the whistle dead. Chris Myers needs to check out his ears.
In their defense, they do say that usually, the official comes waving hands overhead in that kind of situation. I didn't see that one time.
True. I thought we were getting a little clap there at the end. I thought the time you hit the sound effects there for a minute. But you're right. We didn't see the traditional view from the officials there. But maybe I'll give Chris Myers some credit here. Maybe, just maybe, the crowd that was, some people were calling that State Farm Stadium, they were calling that Ford Field West. A lot of Honolulu blue out there, and that crowd was loud before the first half. You heard the "Let's Go Lions" chant, and it was It was loud, very loud for a road stadium. So maybe Chris Myers and crew didn't hear the whistle because that crowd was so electric. Were you guys surprised to see how much they were traveling? I mean, last year we saw it, but I guess maybe I kind of forgot about it.
It's early. I mean, last year the hype was the hype. I don't know. I don't think we'll ever feel. I mean, I could be off. Even if the Lions win the Super Bowl this year, I don't think anything will feel like last year did. Last year just felt different, and I think the crowd traveling or the fans traveling was a big part of that.
Yeah, each season has its own flavor, if you will. I will say though, I don't know if you guys did see when you, and I wanted to bring it up when you were talking about JG there. He did get the Jared Goff chance in the stadium pre-game, and it was ruckus.
No, did not catch that. But hey, shout out to Ford Field West yet again. But I will say this about Jared in the preview show. I mentioned it. Just looking to see him get into rhythm, and I think that's what you saw from Ben Johnson early, Mitch. To touch on your point about the short yardage throws, some things that we saw from last year. Amon Ra across the middle, a little bit of Sam Laporta out there before he got banged up. He was in and out on the cart, in the locker room, on the field, all over the place today from Laporta. Um, but it looked like they were just really trying to get Jared into rhythm, and that's what they did, and that's part of the reason you saw him go incompletion list for so long. It wasn't that there were great quality throws, and I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you guys caught it too, but there were a lot of times where you could see Jared wanting to go deep, and he ended up checking it down more than a few times today. So Jared playing a little bit more conservative, and then when you saw him get out of it in the third quarter, once again, the third quarter offense just is lacking, and that's what we saw last year. Mitch, to your point, love to see 4 quarters out of these guys. They were running the ball so well today. I was happy to see that, but they just get away from it. And Mitch, I don't know if you want to touch on your point about why they go to Gibbs sometimes when Monty is just running through everything.
Yeah, I just listen. The 1-2 punch, the two-headed monster, is probably what's got NFL defensive coordinators shaking in their boots trying to game plan for this offensive line and in all the weapons. But ride the hot hand. I don't understand. I mean, Monty's having a game and he's grinding these guys down, and all of a sudden you make a switch, you throw Gibbs in, and you get stuffed. I don't understand it. Especially because Monty is so unique in that he's a bruiser but can still make guys miss. I think coming into this week he had top 5 most forced missed tackles in the NFL. So I don't understand it. I know they got to switch them up. They're two great weapons, but sometimes when one gets going, just let them keep cooking. I don't understand the mix up there. Seems odd.
Mitchell, you don't even need to break tackles if you just get carried.
Yeah,
That was incredible. I was laughing so hard, and I texted you guys. And again, not the biggest Schlereth fan all the time, but that you can tell Schlereth is. I believe he's a dad when he said, "Look at his little feetsies." Like that's
be.
such a dad thing. Little feetsies off the ground. So cute. So good.
Yeah, shout out to Shalarith on that one. He's valid for that one for sure. You want to talk about yardage? David Montgomery today, 23 carries, 105 yards, 4.6 a carry, and that touchdown. Just a bell cow out there. Gibbs not far behind him with 16 carries for 8.3. Actually, the higher average of the day with the 5.2. But we do know that Gibbs is definitely in that category of more explosive, a little quicker behind there, and Monty a little bit more of the bruiser. But you did touch on it, Mitch. He can make people miss. Don't forget that about that guy out there. Don't forget that about Monty. In terms of yardage from the wide receivers, Amon-Ra with 7 catches, 75 yards. Looked a lot more like we saw from last year from St. Brown. Finally getting in the groove. Yes, he was over 100 last week, but it wasn't the same kind of 100. This was more the St. Brown that we're used to seeing. And Laporta added 2 catches for 36. Brock Wright, 4 catches for 34. I did like to see them utilize the tight ends there. And Laporta getting one of those for 24 yards, the longest of his year this year for sure. On 2 targets, he catches both of them. But he was in and out of this game, which was a bummer. So Brock Wright got a few more touches there. Gibbs and Monty there was a few others with catches. Jamison Williams only 1 catch today, and Tim Patrick with only 1 catch today too. But Allen Robinson has been raised up to the active roster as well, so he may work into. But what did you guys make of the Sun God today?
It was a classic Sun God game. He was there when they needed him to be. He was making the clutch catches. Uh, I mean, that's what they need. Again, that first drive was everything that we came to know last year. Laporta, Sun God. Oh, we're gonna throw some runs in there. Like it was so balanced, and they were moving the ball so well. And really, this the whole first half. Putting up 20 points in the first half is so good, but just sputtered out. Just don't understand it. I can't
The
wrap my head around it. But classic Sun God. Love to see it.
third quarter offense there for the Lions. That's what it always is.
Yeah, Mitchell, that was a great point. That was very reminiscent. That first drive, extremely reminiscent of last year. And way to point out they did finally get some points on their first drive of the evening. So fantastic to see there. Is it just me or you? Is Amon Ra putting a little extra into the Sellies this year?
He's feeling himself for sure. He got the Netflix show. He's built his brand. I like that last first down Selly though. I like that little. It's good. It's not overbearing. It's enough.
Got rid of. Is he still doing the throw the ball like 30 yards down the field when he gets the first down? Did we see that today? I don't know if I saw that today. Saw it last week for sure. How about the play before the half with the old hook and ladder?
Again, incredible. That's the stuff like you kind of like when Ben Johnson lulls you to sleep. Oh, sorry, we're gonna do something really cool. You can do that stuff when your offense is just humming, but then again in the second half, I keep going to the second half. You just go run, pass, run, pass, run, pass. Like why? And again, switching the running backs in and out, just not. Jared throws a pick. It just doesn't make a lot of sense how they could just completely turn into a different team offensively in one half of football.
And I don't know about you guys. I feel like I haven't seen too many screenplays this year. It feels like they were made of screenplays last year, and they just kind of seem to have gotten away from that.
We saw a little bit of it today. How about that one? Jared basically trying to throw it into the dirt, and Monty scoops it and then makes a play out of it, gets 7 yards. I thought that was a little known play there. That kind of meant a lot to that drive.
I saw a lot of screens last week too, I think, and they just weren't working against the Bucks. Shout out to the Bucks.
Yeah, no, the Bucks
not sure we can call that a good loss anymore.
No, not after today's showing against the Broncos, but
woof.
You kind of felt like maybe the Bucks were going to have a come to earth game. I thought that was going to be the Vikings. It was the Bucks this week.
I don't think anybody can be ashamed of losing to the Vikings. Good Lord. I mean, who are they? Like Kevin O'Connell's just kidding. We don't need our first round quarterback. Sam Darnold will get us to the Super Bowl this year.
Not just Sam Darnold, Nick Mullins as well out there today.
Yeah, yes, Sam Darnold with the an ankle injury there in like the second quarter. I want to say I did see some Mullins action out there. Forgot the old boy was still on the roster. But yeah, the Vikings undefeated. You hope that reign of terror ends because they still sit atop the NFC North there. How about I want to give a little shout out to Gibbs too on the draw right around the 2-minute warning and into the half. Huge draw play there to get yardage there before the half and get them down there. Yeah, I mean all day long the two-headed monster was working. I think you're right, Mitch. They do need to work on kind of how that balance works. 23-16, pretty good balance there. But I think it's the timing of that balance. You do want to keep the defense guessing, and you don't want to be tipping your cap to them by, bringing one back in and indicating or showing what the play is going to be based on who's in the game. But I think it's a good balance. It just needs some work at times. When Monty is in that mode, we got to come up with a nickname for that mode he gets in, because there is no team that's going to stop him when he's in that mode, sicko mode. He's going sicko mode.
He looks great. I mean, he adds something to this offense that. I mean, I was a little befuddled at first when they let Jamal go. And they brought in, I was, at the time, I was like, oh, it's just another bruiser. How wrong I was, because he is he adds a ton to this offense.
There was so many plays today where I thought, oh, he slipped, or oh, I can't. He got hit behind the line, and he would not only get back to the line of scrimmage, he would get 2 yards out of it. I mean, several times today that happened, and I hate to bring it up, but the line just not really performing to what we really expected a top tier offensive line to be.
I thought they played all right. I guess they didn't exceed my expectations by any means, but can you elaborate on that? Like, what do you mean in terms of the run blocking, pass blocking?
Watch out,
Like,
he's putting you on the spot. It's kind of rude.
Well, Jared still took hits. They got beat on a lot of 3-man rushes today on the pass blocking and run blocking. Like I said, Monty was getting hit before he even made it to the line of scrimmage. You'd think that. I know there's a lot of time where it's one guy you got to beat, and that's what it is, hat on a hat, right? But I mean, there was several times there was just people in the backfield immediately.
For sure, and out there on defense, the team. I mean, if you want to talk about tackling, Arizona's defense with 87 tackles today to the Lions 49. Just to kind of show you what this game was about, they almost doubled them. But you're right, Andrew, and shout out to Monty for getting a lot of those yards himself, because we know what would happen if those were negative plays. It would be like last week against the Bucks. When the Lions get behind the chains, that offense doesn't know how to operate. Jared Goff can't play quarterback without a team getting yards on every play. You get into those third and longs, second and longs, and that's where the wheels fall off for the Lions. That's when the mistakes happen. That's when the sacks happen. That's when Jared just loses it. And I did a good job today of just keeping that team moving forward, and that's one of the biggest keys to keeping Jared contained, as far as not throwing picks and being just ruthless out there. He was contained today. He did have the INT, but a much better day from Jared overall, and shout out to him for the wheels at the end there to close it out. But yeah, I don't know. We're not the only ones talking about this third quarter offense, or this team playing, or this offense playing with a lead. It just seems like they try to expand the playbook and try to, I don't know. They think they got a lead and they can try some things, so to speak, and just see, like, hey, maybe this will stick. Maybe we can get Jared to be more comfortable and make some more throws that are, not so easy, right? And then you see what happens, and they don't end up scoring any points. It was 20-10 for, I don't remember how long, but that was a long time, Andrew. You talked about it. It was a sleepy third quarter and a good portion of the fourth quarter as well. Only 3 points in the fourth quarter. So it was 20-10 for a while, and then the Cardinals did get that field goal to try to make it interesting. But it felt like a Big Ten game broke out there for a moment.
We talked about it a little bit last week too, where it's like we got so used to leaning on the offense, depending on the offense, and now it's just like starting to flip a little bit, and which is a good thing. I mean, Ray Lewis said it. Shout out Ray Lewis. Defense wins championships. I mean, we've completely flipped, and the offense is not like pitiful by any stretch of the imagination. We're not going to go win a Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer back there, but it's odd. It's not what we're used to from last year.
No, you bring up a good point. I mean, this team against the Cardinals team, which is 1-2 now, hard to say like really what the Cardinals are, but against a better team than the Cardinals, you're not going to have that many opportunities where the defense can hold their water there and hold the score, hold them scoreless for as long as they did. That's just not going to happen. The offense is going to have to produce, and I don't understand why this team just doesn't. They only can be like 100% aggressive or 100% safe. They can't find that middle ground, and that's really what the offense needs to do. Is okay, how can we be aggressive but not too aggressive to the point where mistakes happen when you have the lead? You want to maintain the lead, but you don't want to play not to lose. That's what this team does a lot, and they just don't seem to figure it out. I thought over the process of last year they would figure it out, and at times they did figure it out last year, and then now it seems like we're right back to that same point this year. And yes, they did eke out the win here, 20-13 on the road. No apologies for the loss. Dan will say that in the post game. I'm sure it's really hard to get a win in this league, and you did it. You're sitting 2-1. You're 1-0 on the road, going back home before the bye. But they just got some things to iron out. Put a full game together, both sides of the ball. You guys want to shift to defense? Talk a little bit about defense. I thought, as I said at the top, they played really well without Anzalone out there, one of the captains. Derek Barnes goes out early. You've got Neiman out there playing linebacker at times. Some guys who haven't even seen the field in non-preseason type of games. Terrion Arnold with another penalty there today, and sometimes looked rough. But I thought the secondary looked much improved, at least over the last couple weeks and last season. I think you're starting to see the secondary mesh and gel together, and Brian Branch played pretty well, minus the probable concussion that he got late in that one with the tackle there on the tight end. But overall, I thought the secondary played really well, and is a young secondary but growing, and I'm happy to see that.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't take, and they said it on the broadcast late, but surprised they didn't take more shots at Terrion to get some cheap DPI penalties. Because it's weird. I don't think that he really initiates a ton of contact. I think it's a lot of hand battling, and then he just gets really aggressive at the point of attack, like right before the ball gets there.
Yeah, and he's playing the ball, he's playing the man, not the ball.
That was today's big time. Just like no zero effort to turn his head. Today's was probably his most like, yeah, everyone knows that's a PI. The rest of them is just like he needs to adjust to the NFL. But yeah, today's was I think just a little bad. But I mean, again, this is something we talked about in the season preview. It's going to take some time for these guys to mesh in the secondary, and it looks like it's starting to happen against a Cardinals team that was putting a lot of points on the board. I'm just glad Kyler didn't rush for 87 yards today, because let's be honest, that was the biggest concern.
That's what I was just going to hit you guys with. When he has that run, I think it was 21 yards or something like that Kyler had right in the first quarter. Did you guys think, okay, here we go, this is going to be the story of the day?
Oh,
That's exactly
I texted you guys. I texted you guys right away. Like, all right, AG, time to figure it out. It's a couple runs is enough for me.
Well, I mean, that's just, testament to that defensive line, too, to give that secondary the time to kind of settle and gel. And it's a little tough with a quarterback like Kyler Murray. He is gonna trail out there, but I mean, good on that defensive line to kind of fill those holes. And he had to work for it. He had to get to the edge to beat anybody. And as far as containing Kyler, I'll take that.
Yeah, 5 carries for 45 yards on the day today with the 21-yarder. Most of those yards on that 21-yarder early. Yeah, I thought they did a good job. It wasn't the story of the day, which is always a win for that defense, especially without some key players there and a lot of guys getting banged up. Yeah, I thought Aiden, played well. I think, let me look at the stat sheet here. Did he get credit for a full sack on the? Yes, he did. He got the one sole sack of the day for the Lions defense. One for Aiden puts him at, what's he at now? What's his total for the year? He's got.
I think that's 6.5.
Yeah,
5.5.
I believe
Five
so.
and a half. 5.5 coming into the day. 6.5 after today. Yep, you nailed it. Yeah, 6.5 through 3 games. Solid average going through there. But I touched on him a little bit. But Brian Branch, played really well. I thought Carlton Davis, outside of a few plays, played well, kind of getting him back into form that we saw with the Bucks. And overall, you held Marvin Harrison Jr. to 64 yards and Michael Wilson to 64 as well. Both of those guys with 64. I think if this was a game last year against the secondary, Marvin Harrison Jr.'s probably got 120, and some other guys definitely have more yards. So, hey, I'll take it. I'll take it from this defense. It's improving before our eyes.
You could tell he was on the verge, too. You can kind of tell when receivers are kind of heating up, catching a lot of passes, deke, dunk. They just find a way to get him the ball. And you could tell he was starting to heat up, and I'm just glad he did not catch fire.
Fourth quarter, you saw it. It looked like it. Okay, the defense has held them consistently on so many drives here, and now they just can't contain them any longer, and they're going to march down. And they did kind of march down, get held to a field goal there. Shout out to the defense to be stout there on the other side of the 50. But yeah, you're right. I could feel it. A lot of Lions fans, I'm sure, shareholders alike, could feel it. It felt like it was brewing, and then we're going to have a situation where, Mitch, you talked about it, but the offense wasn't going to be able to get a first down when they needed it most there after getting the 3 from the Cardinals there. Cardinals get a stop, and then all of a sudden we're in a diaper game. Which, by the way, guys, would we consider this one a diaper game?
Not a diaper, a pull-up maybe.
started to get weird. But I think because the third quarter was so, or well, I guess most of the second half, to be honest, was so sleepy lullaby. I really never felt myself getting, the stress. I was stressed that they weren't doing more on offense and doing what they were doing in the first half, but overall, I was pretty calm throughout the game.
Yeah, that fourth quarter was flirting with a near diaper game, but they ended up closing it out. Kudos to the defense and kudos to JG on with the legs. But yeah, I think you're right, Ben. Just kind of lulled you to sleep there in the second half. Just kind of, okay, 10-point lead. We got this. Just put some points on the board consistently and you'll be all right. Field goal him to death. And just couldn't even get into field goal range. And then you're worried because you got Bates with a missed extra point in there.
Which could have been a big factor in this one. Yeah, you'd be 21. You'd be 21 to 13. Yeah, yeah, we'll give Bates a break on that one. You knew it was going to happen eventually for him. You didn't think it was going to be on an extra point, more like the field goal variety. But yeah, Bates with one that could have been costly down the stretch. Shout out to Kirby for the one turnover generated by the defense today with the INT there. Thought there was an opportunity for a couple more. Looked like there was a couple chances for more there from the secondary. Kyler throwing the ball up at times into double coverage. Just looked off. What else? What else from the defense? Did you guys notice anything else from the defense?
Not a ton. Good pressure on Kyler. I thought for the most part, he had a couple of passes where he got to just hang back there for a long time. But for the most part, I thought again they didn't really find a rhythm, or Kyler didn't find a rhythm. Did he? He maybe had just over 100 yards passing. I think he got that at the end of the game. How much?
207.
No, in my face. He had like eight. I feel like he had 88 for the longest time.
Yeah, they really held him in check. Even when the offense or the defensive line couldn't get to him and put pressure on him, the secondary was holding strong. That's a pretty impressive thing from the secondary. That's something we would have if you give that team against the Lions last year, that much time at times, they would have picked them apart in the secondary. So shout out to the secondary for not only being strong in those moments, but other moments as well. In terms of team stats, though, yeah, Arizona with 277 yards total between passing and rushing, under average, certainly under what they put up last week. Only 17 first downs, and here's the big one, the time of possession. And you kind of felt that based on how many tackles Arizona had versus the Lions. 37 minutes for the Lions today, down to 23 on the Cardinals. That's a big part of why they won the game. Just dominated the time of possession. Had some long drives on offense, a lot of run plays that led them to running the clock on offense, and the defense getting them off the field and getting the ball back to that offense. It was solid, and the Lions probably one of their negative things for the day, certainly among other things, was the penalties. They ended the day with 9 penalties for 79 yards. A lot of penalties that didn't need to happen. Paschal with a late hit there after a couple steps. Davenport with the hands to the face, I think. Onzawerke might have had something. Some false starts from the offensive line that was so strong last year. I think Penastul had one. Decker had one. Glasgow had one. Just uncharacteristic from some of those guys that are always usually so sharp. But maybe, the dad's on the offensive line. Maybe they're just not getting enough sleep. So they're getting some false starts
out there. Give them a break.
You're right. Shout out to the dads out there. But yeah, uncharacteristic. It's been a long time since we saw a Dan Campbell team have 9 penalties. Arizona with only 4 today. So a big discrepancy there.
Felt like we were watching the Ravens. Good Lord.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad out there. Let's see. The Lions were 0 for 1 on 4th down. That probably shouldn't have been a 4th down. I don't know if you guys got a chance to rewatch that. I rewatched it, and I told you guys in the chat, but that official that comes down to spot the ball is past the sticks when he starts off the sidelines. By the time he gets to the ball, he takes such an angle, he's half a yard short. It was questionable.
Well, and I don't know if you noticed Dan on that too. He was right down the first down marker, and I don't know. My lip reading isn't completely there, but I'm pretty sure I heard him say, "That's a first down," or "We got this," something of that measure, right? And then when they came in and just ran a play so quickly, I couldn't figure that out. You're on offense. You can dictate this. We can take a second look at it. That was what confused me more than anything.
And that was after Dan had challenged the fourth down call that, Kyler got across the sticks, and then they ultimately see his thigh was down and he was marked short. Dan right on top of that one too, by the way. They win that challenge. So they did have another challenge there too. They could have easily challenged that play in a big moment there. I think maybe, they hurried a line, try to catch the defense off guard and try to get a quick yard or two there with Monty. But yeah, it was questionable there from the officials there on a couple of plays. In terms of defense, I think that helped the officials helped there because they let him kind of play in the secondary. A lot of contact that maybe gets called in other games. I was happy to see a lot of no flags on there. A couple in there, but not many. Going back to offense real quick, did you see the call on St. Brown, that offensive pass interference? It was a play that really didn't matter, but it was, if you watch the replay, it was really bad. Like he doesn't, he looks like he kind of gives the illusion like he pushes off on the defender, but St. Brown just straight up wins and they call an OPI. It was bad. I saw it on Twitter. It was bad.
I think he does that quite a bit in his routes. He kind of like he does it, but he gives like a patter almost. And
Right.
he does that at the same time where he makes like his dig or his move, and it looks quite often like he pushes off. So I'm not shocked that that got called. I mean, you can see him on the sideline. Like I think he was basically saying to, I think was it Randall L.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I barely pushed. I don't know. It's all right though. It was bound to happen.
Doesn't know his own strength out there. Son of Mr. Universe doesn't know his own strength. Um, so what do you guys think about this team going forward? Banged up. We talked about the injuries. Anzalone didn't play today with that concussion. Barnes leaving. I've got a list here of everybody that was banged up in this one. Dan Skipper got hurt early. Laporta was limping. Then he was on a cart. Then he was back in the game. Then he was walking off saying, "I can't do it." Barnes with the knee injury. Terrion Arnold with a knee. Plus, I think he was sick. So he was kind of in and out. Aleem McNeil left this game and didn't come back. I think that's probably your biggest worry going forward is Aleem may have at least a minor to maybe a potentially major injury. We don't have the ruling on that. We won't till Wednesday's episode. But that's probably the biggest one for me is obviously Anzalone will probably be back and Terrion Arnold was back in this game, but Aleem McNeil on defense, that's a big issue.
Yeah, so there's no timeline. Dan didn't really have an update. We do have a confirmed sprained ankle from Laporta, so we'll see high low where that lands us. But I would agree with you, Ben. I'm worried about Aleem. I think Aleem adds so much more to the defensive line. So it would be great to see him get back, but they're going to face a hot 3-0 Seahawks team, and then they're going to get to the bye, and we'll see where we're at. But we thought the bye was way too early. Feels like we need it.
Certainly does.
Yeah, I got a team that we haven't had a ton of success with here in the past or late future, and need a win. Need this last win going into the bye. And who thought? I mean, we kept saying heading into the season, it's kind of a shame the bye is this early. You want to get healthy. You want to get right at the end of the season. Sometimes you need it, and it's looking more and more like they just need it. They need some time off, and they got to get healthy.
I want to ask you guys this: if we don't know the severity of that ankle sprain for Laporta, but do you just sit him for next week and let him take that double bye week, take next week off into the bye, and let him just get that thing healed up?
Why wouldn't you? It's not like he's done anything this year. What's the harm in letting him get healthy?
Brock Wright
Well,
season.
yeah, I think it's more just like the formations that come out, and so not only is it Brock Wright, but they bring in two tight ends. So who's that third tight end? I think I remember from the depth chart it was like Parker Hesse or
Yes.
something like that, but he's technically playing their fullback slot anyway, so I don't know how he's getting slotted as a tight end.
bring back Rodrigo into the fullback slot and let Hesse go back out there and fill the void for Laporta while he gets healthy. Right?
That's a great call. Yeah, might have to be what they go with.
Yeah, who's to say? Yeah, I think going forward, I mean, next week you got a little extra time, so that's good news. You got a Monday night matchup next week, so you get another day, which could be huge for some of these guys to get them back healthy. We'll see what happens with Brian Branch. Forgot to mention him as well, but certainly looked like a head injury for both those guys on the receiving and the giving end of that one. So maybe that extra day allows you to get Branch out of protocol, unlike they did today with Anzalone not making it out of protocol by the day of today. So we'll see. Hopefully that extra day this week gives them a break, and then they go into the bye and get some of these guys back coming out of it in Dallas in week 6. Let's roll the halftime capsules now. Then we'll hit Bam's Player of the Week out of that. And then we'll close this segment that is the Lions segment versus the Cardinals. Let's go random here. Let's go Andrew first with the halftime capsules this week.
Well, shareholders, here we are. End of the half, 20-10. Not a whole lot to say. This is a pretty back and forth game. Defense. Biggest thing is let's contain Kyler. We can't let him keep scrambling, getting out of the pocket. Is
that a door or a fart?
Aiden, you're doing a pretty good job keeping him in there and keeping him honest. Offensively, we're clicking. Let's all take a moment of silence and a big sigh of relief that was the 2-minute warning. I absolutely believe that was the 2-minute warning. We're finding a lot of rhythm, and then we're falling out of rhythm. I think we need to keep pounding it with Montgomery, flip it to Gibbs on the outside, hit a pass here and there. Let's just go finish this game out. Let's go Lions.
Let's just go finish this game out. I love the ending there. And you're right. Feed Montgomery, man. It was working all day. Hit Gibbs when they're not expecting it. My turn. Okay, halftime capsule. Cardinals game. 20-10 at the half. Should be 20-7, but JRM had to get a silly penalty there to give the drive some life there before the half. That's okay. They held them to 3. We'll take it. 20-10. All things considered, I'm liking to see what the offense is doing out there. Hell of a trick play there before the half. Love that. Offense is dynamic. Ben Johnson is dialing it up, running the ball strong. A lot of injuries out there in the physical play, though. I have more on this list than I can probably name off. So, hey, you're going to have to fight through some adversity here in the second half. Laporta going on the cart before the half. Didn't love to see that. Defense playing pretty solid out there. Terrion Arnold, yet again, flag master. Laundry all over the field with him. We hope he's working on that. Defensively, you don't have Anzalone out there, but you're still looking pretty good outside that first drive from the Cardinals. I'll take it. And out of the half, the Cardinals get the ball. So, let's get a stop out of the half for the first time in a long time and actually do something in the third quarter with the offense. That's what they're going to need to prove to me. Come out strong in the third quarter on both sides of the ball and put this team away. Continue to hold the lead. Let's go Lions. And by the way, let's go Lions. The fans are super strong out there today in Arizona. Super strong. Let's go. I read your lips, Andrew. Yeah, shout out to the defense for actually holding them out of the half there, but the offense not scoring any points. So womp womp. Mitch from Fort Wayne.
Halftime capsule. Lions Cardinals. Offense looks like they have finally found their groove. Sam Laporta still exists. Very much a sun god game so far. Monty running it down their throats in the first drive. Then you start mixing it up with Gibbs. You get Gibbs a lot more touches. Offense looks great. Humming, much more like of what we saw from last year. Defense is doing a good job. Kyler got away from him a little bit, some scampering around, I think almost 40 yards of rushing, but whether it's been adjustments or, secondary's just playing a little tighter, defense is containing Kyler and the high-flying offense that we've seen the first couple weeks of the season from the Cardinals. So it's feeling good. It's looking good. Just minimize the mistakes. A few too many penalties, I think, but not going to complain too much. Offense looks good. Defense looks good. Keep it up. Go Lions.
Nailed it.
GD penalties, man. I'm telling you. Driving me
all
nerds.
Day long. It was all day. But hey, what that was right there was some
high-level analysis.
Shout out to the shareholders out there. I see if I look ahead at the BAM's players of the week, Mitch, you've got Jack Fox listed. How about the day that old Jack Fox lists Jack Fox, the leg master, with a 68-yard punt there, his longest of the day, but several pinning him deep.
Yeah, I mean, I like inside the 10 all day long, or right around the 10, like at worst. It was beautiful. I mean, he was punting out of his mind today. That's why he is my BAM player of the week, BAM's player of the week. Um, I mean, I you could make an argument for several people, but I think just the consistency at which a punt, like you'll have punters that like, oh, that is a great punt. He had great punts today. So go Jack Fox, go kickers, go punters.
Great point, Mitchell. I mean, he kept him in it that entire second half, and he's part of the reason that it was so sleepy. And it's a dirty job. Somebody's got to do it.
It was Big Ten football out there. The offense would get a first down or two, get the punter out there, pin him deep, rinse and repeat. It was a lot of that, and Jack Fox played a big role in why the defense was able to hold them scoreless for as long as they did, and so shout out to him, because without that, some of those drives may have ended differently, and we might be sitting in a different position here as a Lions podcast. So shout out to him. And then obviously we talked about Bates, his mixed extra point of the day. So special teams, great in the punting, not so great in the kicking. But first time in that stadium, I'm sure for Bates, he'll get used to that. Andrew, who did you have for your BAM of the week?
Well, first and foremost, a lot of what you brought it up, a lot of injuries. So helmets and shoulder pads, they take mine definitely this week. And close by is Monty, just because of the sheer will he was putting out on half those runs of his today.
Yeah, I'm going to echo your statement on Monty. I was going to give it to the two-headed monster between Monty and Gibbs. St. Brown, you could have made a case for it if the run game wasn't so strong. And then on defense, probably Brian Branch with a solid day today, minus the ending of the day for him. And I thought Carlton Davis played well, but I'll give it to Monty. And shareholders, that means it's up to you all we're not unanimous here, so give it to the shareholders here. You are the S in BAM's player of the week, so do your duty, do your civic duty, and vote down below. If you're listening on Spotify, scroll down below the player and vote for your BAM's player of the week.
Don't know if we've given an update yet, but Drake London with your first points of the Sunday night football game. Hawk.
Here we go again.
Just say Tua. You want to? Just do it. Just do it.
Kirk
Sorry,
Cousins
you can.
Kirk Cousins is up 7-0.
Wait till the Seahawks preview this week when we actually have Hawks in the building. That's going to change it's going to change things. And if you don't get that joke, go to our TikTok and watch it back, or go back a couple episodes and listen to the preview show. You'll figure out why. But thank you for that update on the Falcons. I really, really desperately need a Falcons victory for my week 3 picks, because it's a bloodbath in cell W on our Excel spreadsheet. It's not good. Cell W, column W is not a W. There's not a lot of W's in the W column right now for me. So, that will transition us to the records then, of course. So as it stands right now, I'm 5-8 on the week. Mitch is 7-6. Andrew is 6-7. The running season totals, that would put Mitch in the lead once again by a point, I think. And then we'll tally up the rest of those. Of course, we got 2 Monday night games this week, so don't forget about that, shareholders. We got 2 today, if you're listening to this on Monday. And then we've got the Falcons and the Chiefs squaring off right now as we talk. So,
can we get Andrew's season total quick?
Well, Tommy doesn't have these tallied up, but we can do a little quick tally live for the shareholders. Yeah, no, it's been requested.
That's what the people want.
He's sitting at. He's still above 500, baby. Or no, sorry, that's a lie. Sorry, he's 21-24.
Why do you got to do me like that?
Don't do me like that.
You made it better with so confidently saying, He's above 500, baby.
Oh yeah, that's no doubter.
Psych, that's the wrong number.
Yeah, literally though. I apologize to you, Andrew. That was wrong of me. That was not intentional. That was not a bit. Mitch, are you doing it for me? Thank you.
I got you, dog.
Thank you. I have the best production crew in the business here. So yeah, Mitch 25 and 20, Ben 24 and 21, one game back, and Andrew 21 and 24. Hey,
It's okay.
but I told you this, Andrew. You struggle in the beginning and you come back strong, buddy. You were under 500 the whole first year that we did this, and you came back and won. You were 20 games north of 500. Don't forget that.
We hover around like 5,500 or like 550. You actually watch the games and get really good at it. You picked the Giants today. It's an incredible pick. True ally.
That's just a sheer anything against Deshaun Watson pick there.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Andrew, you marked the Saints. That's my bad. Did we do this wrong? That's my bad. I forgot you had the Saints.
Oh no.
So is it actually 6 and
Tough.
Is it 5 and 8?
yeah,
Is it
it is.
5 and 8?
It is 5 and 8.
Oh,
It is.
nerds.
What's happening?
I don't know. The columns are shifting. So bear with us, shareholders who haven't already clicked away after this discussion. Andrew's 20 and 25. Hey, baby. 5 games back, 5 games under 500. That ain't nothing. You know how many games we have left? We have like 200 games left. You're fine.
Still got 3 this week. Kidding me?
Exactly. You got a chance to make that only 2 games out of 500. So yeah, shout out to you for taking the Giants, and shout out to you for taking the Steelers. 2 big ones there. Not a shout out to all of us taking the Raiders. How about the Panthers? Are they the best team in the league?
It's officially we can no longer fade the Panthers straight up.
How many?
Bryce Young has to be done on the Panthers. There's no situation unless Andy Dalton gets hurt that he should be. Well, I think some teams will take him as a backup or a project. I think. Oh, stop this!
He's definitely got another opportunity out there.
He's way too young to just pass on.
Malik Willis has a job. Malik Willis is playing quarterback right now.
QB controversy in Wisconsin. People are saying it.
Oh. Well, if you want to go down the list, Thursday night we had the Jets and the Patriots. The Jets took it to them. And then we had the Browns and the Giants today. That was an ugly game. Browns came out with a score quick. Giants came back with a vengeance. Browns tried to make it a game late. Giants with the victory there. So shout out to Andrew for starting the day hot with the G-men there. And then you had the Packers-Titans, like we said. Andrew took the Tighties there. Not the best pick. Packers looking really solid in that one. Packers improved to 2-1 right there with the Lions, and potentially getting Jordan Love back here in a week or two. It sounds like, but Mitch, you alluded to it today. Malik Willis numbers. You want to hear those? You want to hear Malik's numbers today against his old team? 13 of 19 for 200 yards. He had more yards than Jared.
And on the ground, punched one in on the ground. 6
carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown. Solid day from Malik against his old team. I think he had a bump there. I think he comes back to earth. We're not going to see those numbers from Malik again, and maybe that's because Jared Love's going to take back over. But
I was going to say it doesn't sound like he's starting after this week.
Who do the Packers have next week?
Rams.
No, Vikings. That's a matchup right there.
Vikings look unreal right now. Their defense is something.
What do you guys think about that?
Right?
I thought it was going to be this week against the Texans. They made the Texans look dumb.
I still stand by it. I think somebody drugged the Texans. Not sure what happened. They had penalties galore.
Check the kitchen at the team hotel.
Could be the curse of US Bank Stadium there as well, with the half open, half not, basically, with the glass roof, and the shadows are everywhere on that field.
But it is a big shadow, crazy bird killing stadium, by the way. The shadows produced by that stadium are incredible inside. And the light coming in, obviously, they know the light situation. Road teams may not know that, especially a team that's not in their conference with the Texans coming into town. So if we would have known that, maybe we would have changed our pick here. But yeah, the Vikings look really solid. That does concern me. Next week we have the benefit of the Packers and the Vikings going at each other. So one of those teams has to lose, and so that'll be good. Maybe we'll get a tie in there. Saints really let me down in the Big Easy. I felt pretty good about this game all game long, but the Eagles squeak one out there. That was tough for me.
You can't win them all, buddy.
Neither team got
Can't
anything going in this game.
Yep.
No, it really didn't seem like it.
Nothing
Jalen
is
Carter's
shocking
trying
though.
to fight people afterwards.
These Steelers, like, I know Justin Herbert got hurt, but man, I'm going to throw back to the question about Coach of the Year for Dan Campbell. You could probably mark Mike Tomlin as an early Coach of the Year candidate.
No doubt. That's what I was going to ask you guys. At this point, with Justin Fields leading the helm at 3-0, do they even bring in Russ?
No,
Justin
why would
Fields
you?
looks so good. No, I would not. Not until he actually loses it.
I have a question
and
about that.
Yeah, the Bears got to want him back.
Yeah, 100%. The Bears cooked him, and that's what happens to Chicago Bear quarterbacks, and we hope that same thing happens to Caleb Williams. But am I the only one? Like, I know it's a different uniform, a completely different team, but that doesn't even look like Justin Fields. I am not convinced that is Justin Fields. That's my founder of
It's
conspiracy statement.
something about how much they're in the white. That's what it is. It's the uniform.
I disagree. I thought that was textbook Justin Fields out there. I thought that was just him.
I don't know if
Couldn't
he
have been
changed the
anybody else.
visor. I don't know if he did something there. It just doesn't.
Listen, they play the Colts next week. Anthony Richardson is a tight end massacre. Anthony Richardson is Taysom Hill with a better arm. That's what he is.
Oh,
They play the Colts. They're probably going to start the season 4-0. Why would you bring Russ in now? For what? Just keep doing what you're doing.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it. How about Anthony Richardson today with that throw in the red zone? I'm sure you caught it, Andrew. That's bad.
Which one? Mitchell and I were talking about it before you jumped on. It was the game of who could throw the most interceptions, who could make the other team look better. I'm assuming the one that you're talking about is the one the Lady Lion and I had to rewind a few times to figure out who the hell he was actually throwing it to. Run to anything. He spazzed out and just threw it directly to 3 white shirts.
How about? Did you see the replay afterwards? He's like, "Yo, it got tipped. It got tipped." Like trying to.
Not even close.
I hit a little pressure there, but yeah, it was like, in what world? In what world are you throwing that ball when you're inside your own 5? Like, I think they're on the 6-yard line or something. Like, in what world is that a good idea?
The white shirts stick out in the blue end zone too.
Yeah.
Like that was also worse. And it's not like he threw it to the left or right guy. He threw it to the guy directly in the center.
In the center. And yeah, it's the opposite effect of the Ford Field blue when they're wearing the blueberry blues. That, some calling that camouflage. That's the opposite of camouflage. You can see that from a mile away, and he was only 6-7 yards away, and he throws it right to him. And in a situation where you don't force that, at the very least you're kicking a field goal there. You're guaranteed a 3.
Just run, dude. Just run.
That's a rookie move.
And then Caleb
Which
Williams
he
on the other
basically
side.
is a rookie. So that's like
Yeah.
the saving grace for me is he essentially is a rookie. But Caleb Williams threw the ball 52 times today and had
Whoa.
2 picks, a fumble, 2 touchdowns, ton of yards, but still. You guys, I don't think I almost feel like we could couple the next 3 games. No. I was gonna say Bucks are dead, but the Bucks aren't dead. They just Ben, you said it earlier, a little bit of a come down to earth against the Broncos. That's what that was. That's what Dan said. That's why the Lions are where they are. They got, wake up games all the time. That's okay. DC loves wake up games.
Yeah, that's what he lives and dies by. I mean, like every couple games, they got to have that reset game, and they come back really strong the next game, and then we're happy again. We're sad. We're happy. We're sad. It's always like that. But you touched on it. The Bucks lose to the Broncos today. One of your shocker games. Broncos just took it to them. Did you get? I think it was Pro Football Focus. I don't know who it was. Came out with their power rankings last week, and they had the Bucks like in the top 5. And when I saw that, I wanted to change my pick to Broncos, but then I was like, oh come on, it's the Broncos. But that was incredible. Once I saw how high people were on the Bucks, I was like, they are not that good.
I mean,
Not
they're going to
deserving.
be solid. They're going to be solid, but yeah,
I
it's
don't know. I don't
I
know.
think they're I'd lock them in for 11 wins this season.
Ooh. Ooh.
You
In
don't
that
think so?
division, I feel like that division's going to beat up on each other with the Falcons kind of on the rise and the
Well,
Saints still seem
The
okay.
Saints got the real wake up. I mean, I think
Yeah.
people were so high on the Saints because they beat up on the Panthers with Bryce Young at the helm. And yeah, we'll see.
Well, then they
But
dominated America's team. Don't forget about that.
they did, yeah. But America's team is also 1-2, so
Garbage.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a
I
little
think
worried that America's team is doing the opposite of what they usually do, and I'm scared they're going to get hot late and actually
100%.
win a playoff game. Yeah, I'm scared.
Same wavelength because every year they come out they're 6-2, they're solid all the way up until the calendar turns to November, December, and then they struggle. So yeah, we're in for a hurting if they
Unless
flip
they
this
get
thing.
hot, unless they get hot now. But yeah, they did drop a close one. Even today though, like Ravens were up huge, and
They
then
were.
the Cowboys came back. Um, Spoiler alert for that one. But I think Raiders and Dolphins might both be dead. Raiders might be on life support. Dolphins are dead, 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 dead until Tua comes back. But I don't even. He's out at least 4 weeks. Are you going to be able to start the season? What would that? I don't even know. Are they going to start the season 1-6, 1-5, 1-6, and be able to crawl out of that hole?
Not
Dolphins are
not,
dead. Raiders
not in
might
the
be dead as
AFC.
well.
I mean, cut them some slack for right now. They have the longest possible away game today. Maybe they take a week
Coast to
off
coast.
and they see what it's all about.
Yeah.
I think the Dolphins are dead, and I also do think that the Raiders are dead. They got pooped on. Cleveland steamered by the Panthers. Andy
Yeah.
Dalton, first quarterback this year to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Andy Dalton. We're not talking about the Bengals from 7, 8 years ago. We're talking about the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, that was not Candy Dalton. Anybody but
He was
Candy
throwing
Dalton.
seeds today, too. Seeds he was throwing out there.
It,
I don't know.
I didn't catch much of that game. It was going on, same time as the Lions, so I didn't see much of it. Pretty locked in there, but yeah, I kept looking at the score and thinking,
What do
What's
you
going
guys
on?
think Bryce Young's thinking?
he's probably looking to
suck.
sell his house. He's probably on the phone with a
Campbell.
realtor right now, thinking about where he could go. Maybe where could Bryce Young go? Where could he go? Where do you think an opportunity for Bryce Young would be? Trying to think off the top of my head.
back-
He'd have
up to
be.
Trevor
He's not gonna
Lawrence.
start. I mean, he's got to be a backup somewhere.
Yeah, I could see him backing up Trevor Lawrence for years to come.
I could see him backing up Bo Nix. As
No.
wild as that sounds, I mean, who made Drew Brees what he was? I mean, Drew Brees was already good, but Sean Payton made Drew Brees like the short quarterback that could.
The short
That's
kings.
Bryce Young. Yeah,
How about backing up Brock Purdy out there in San Fran?
I don't even. I can't. I was just trying to think of what happened. I know I'm skipping around, but like, you look at Rams 49ers. 49ers are up. Rams are playing with guys that nobody knows on the team. Stafford's stat line, he threw for 221, 1 touchdown. And the Rams come back and win. And
Kyron,
Brock
shout out-
Purdy threw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Juwan Jennings had 175 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns. How did the Rams win?
Kyron Williams had 3 touchdowns. Shout out to my buddy Andrew, not this one, but the other one that's here in the 2-1-0. Shout out to him. Kyron Williams, big day today. Basically willed that team to victory. I mean, Stafford played a big role in it too, and the defense held serve when they needed to. But yeah, that one was a wild one. 49ers looked like they were taking that thing and running with it. But yeah, I had the Rams marked down, and I changed it in the spreadsheet. Probably can go back in the history and see that if I want to really give myself misery. God, I'm such an idiot. Shout out to the Rams. Hey, the Rams needed to. This was like a must-win for the Rams, I think, especially a divisional game.
Big time. Yeah. This was huge for the Rams. So yeah, Rams get it done in a comeback.
Save their season type of game.
Yep, for sure.
If you want to talk about the Cowboys, I know, like you said, we're really moving around, and this is about the time in the
It's
podcast
me.
that this happens. But Cowboys this week got an opportunity for maybe a bounce back game. They got the Giants, and they're playing Thursday night football this week. So prime game of the week. And then they got the
They
Steelers,
should
and then they
roll.
got the Lions.
They should roll the Giants. Opening line for Seahawks Cardinals. Damn it, Andrew. Got me
He's in
messing
your
up
head.
birds. Seahawks Lions. Lions 4.5-point favorites for Monday Night Football next week.
Ooh, that's kind of crazy. I feel like,
That's
given the
pretty
history.
hefty. But you know what? I feel like the Lions are starting to get it like when you go play in college stadiums. This is that home field advantage we're talking about. I think any other team. if
Patty
it's not
Mahomes
Ford Field,
picked.
Let's go
picked
Falcons.
what? What did he pick?
Interception from Holmes.
Who
But
did-
yes,
who
home field
got it?
advantage.
Yeah, home field advantage. They've got the noise in the stadium. It's unreal.
They got the noise in pretty much every stadium, it seems like.
It's
I'm
true.
curious to see what it is in Dallas, though. That's a harder place here. Looking forward
Dallas fans are weirdos. Like the sprinting in. What are you sprinting for? We've talked about this. I can't wrap my head around it. You have an assigned seat, folks. Where are you running to? I don't get it.
It's the standing room only spots that they're running to.
Well, make more money then. Buy a ticket. Buy a real ticket.
I will say, looking at the Dallas game, thought about going to it. It's expensive. I think it's probably less expensive now, but at the time it was expensive. But those standing room only tickets are way cheaper than any seat you can get. So that's,
How
there
much
you go.
cheddar cheese are we talking here?
See, I knew you were gonna quiz me, and I wasn't ready for this.
Well, why? Well, yeah, you brought it up. You want me to
I know.
look?
I think the standing room only games or seats are under 100, maybe like 87, maybe in that range.
Oh,
I
you
could
have
be
to go.
I could be way off.
Ben, you can
know
get
how far
you
Dallas
can get
is?
seats. There's two standing room only, $59 including fees right now.
Yeah, that's way down from what it was. $46
You want me to
here.
buy? You want me to buy some for you?
Just do it, dude. I feel like I have something going on that. No, I don't. No, I don't have anything going
You
on that
have to
weekend.
go. It's $59 for 2 tickets. You and Lady Lion number 3.
Yes, but Dallas is so far away. Like I've got a podcast.
You just said you were looking. You're trying to talk yourself out of it now.
Well, that's when.
Listen,
That's
let's do this really quick. Raise your hand if you think Ben should go to the game.
well.
Okay. Majority rules. 67 or 66.6% say you should go.
Should I get standing room only? $92
Well, I think you
for
should
2
talk to
tickets.
Lady Lion number 3 first, but yeah.
Well, you're right. Let's see. A 3:00 game. It have to leave here by like.
All right.
Yeah, no. The shareholder. Let me save the shareholders on that one. But
Is it time for the Will Levis moment of the week?
oh yeah, how could I forget? I
Before
forgot
we
that
get there, I just came across this clip from Antonio Pierce here. They asked him. They said didn't seem like the team was all there today. He said, as the game went on, there was some individuals that made business decisions and will make business decisions going forward as well. Heavy.
There's nothing I love more than when a coach throws players under the bus right away. Never heard DC do that, have you? Ever.
No, never. Did the Titans head coach have anything to say this week? Noteworthy. But but while you're thinking about that, Antonio Pierce, back to him, Andrew. Do you have any clues on who he's speaking to? Was it like Devontae Adams, maybe?
I was trying to figure that out, but the red zone stayed away from this game so much that I never really saw it. Like not even in the background, just kind of Dalton clips early. So I'm not sure who he's talking about. I don't know. I mean, who would it be? It's got to be somebody on the defense,
I don't know. Certainly not. Can't be talking about Max Crosby. Anyway, here's your. Oh, poor Will Levis. Just struggling out there. Certainly not as bad as the last 2 weeks that we've gotten from him. a little better than that as far as dumb plays. Not bad, but this one, yeah, I mean he's getting his head pushed in here. So it's your Will
Yeah, there
Levis
was a
moment of
couple
the week.
times he wanted to. You could tell he was really holding it in, that he knew all the eyes were on him, that he was about to have another moment. But, buddy, quit throwing it to the wrong team. I mean, there were so many blatant ones that were just tough to watch.
What did he finish with today? Let me tabulate that. Will Levis today, 26 of 34 for 260, 2 touchdowns, 2 INTs. Passer rating of 92. But man, wow. Guess how many yards Tennessee had rushing?
Several.
Andrew, any thoughts?
Repeat the question, please. Zoned up.
No. Just give us the answer.
Tony Pollard, 6 carries for 14 yards. Team ended with 33 yards rushing. Total.
That's a recipe for win.
Will Levis, 3 carries for 12 yards. Tyjae Spears, 2 carries, 7 yards.
That's not that weird of a name.
Tyjae?
Taji?
Taji? Tyjae?
Hell yeah, dude. Name my firstborn.
This is that point in the show, isn't it? We're there. We are there. We are there. How about this clip that I'll show you guys if you want to talk about college football here for a moment. Not actually talking about college football, but this is an actual play that happened. Check this out.
I saw this. Classic.
just yoinks the ball back. Like this is his thought process right here. Like I mean he's already down, but it's just
So
like,
you know what the best part of that is? Ben, can you rewind it?
yeah.
Watch the cheerleaders as the ball goes over. They're like, wait, what is that?
They're
does that
looking
mean?
up in the stands.
wait, where did it go?
like that one's not in the playbook.
Literally all of them are trying to locate that ball.
Like, oh, does that mean we're bad? Like who is this? Virginia Tech and Rutgers, or who is this? Virginia Tech's field, but
Looks like the Scarlet Red Rutgers.
yeah, it's Virginia Tech at the helm there. But we don't see
incredible.
the scorebug fully there in this clip. But yeah, I didn't catch the cheerleaders. They're,
All of them. Quick head snap. Whoop.
oh my god,
Amazing.
they are confused. I don't know why the clip's freaking out, but yeah, I just had to share that. And shout out to Michigan for getting a big win in the big house versus USC. You know, a classic Big Ten battle. And shout out to the college football expert for being there with his father. What a moment for them. Michigan with a big lead to start things off, and then USC coming back, but Michigan finishing it off strong. The Lions finished it off strong here against the Arizona Cardinals. They improved to 2-1. We'll all be back on Wednesday. So follow on TikTok, on Spotify, on Apple. Rate us 5 stars. And like us on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. We're growing there. We're growing everywhere. And let's go Lions into week 4. One more week to the bye. We've got a Monday night matchup this week. They'll be in the all-black alternate uniforms. We love to see that. We'll love to see you all back on this next episode. We'll do a Seahawks preview, and then we'll be back Tuesday following the Monday night matchup for you all shareholders. Until then, be safe, and let's go Lions.
Capital W. Meow.